Boxers or briefs?
Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs, yeah. Briefly in boxers. Welcome to Movie Phones Unscripted. I'm Robert Pants and this is Stephenie Meyer, and that one's Kristen Stewart. We're here to talk about our film Twilight. We're going to ask each other some questions, and some of your questions, as well as some of our own. I'll start with the first question. Annie in Phoenix, Arizona, wants to know in what ways you relate to Bella, Kristen.
I don't know why it's like more self-conscious when you guys like, ask me this question. I think she's who you experience the story through, so you sort of I think every girl projects their own personalities onto her, so it was weird playing the part because I didn't feel like it was a big departure. There was no distinct character I was playing. I was really just this girl in this like extravagant situation.
Okay, what was the most difficult scene for you to film?
Probably the scene where I have to look at the guys who are hassling Bella, and the description in the script was he gives a look so devilish, so animalistic in its rage, that it terrifies full grown men. And coming out with my little bouffant hairdo, white makeup and a pea coat is quite difficult to look very scary.
I wouldn't have guessed that one. It's cool.
It was tough. I nearly quit because of it.
Really? Oh my God, he almost punched me in the face like 5 times.
I should have been on set that day.
Which scene were you most excited to see translated from book to screen?
I mean, I think the main one for me was always the meadow because, that's where it all started. That was the one that I saw in my head first, so I wanted to see that. But I think I was surprised that in the end, the one that, I don't know, I guess there's like the most, what's the word, like delight in scene was the baseball scene. I mean, that one was just so much fun to watch. It kind of blew me away, so there's those two. All right, if you could remake any movie, like from any period, recent, forever ago, and be the star, which one did you do?
I would love to have been the voice of Mowgli in the Jungle Book. Tell us one thing about yourself that most people don't know.
I'm really cool.
We're so lame. Oh my God, you cannot do this.
I tell everybody the one thing people don't know is I tell everybody everything all the time. Well, maybe people do know that because I keep telling them everything. I've already repeated myself. I start repeating myself to people who I've met for 2 dates. What has been your favorite experience since becoming an actor?
I just gotta, I don't want to like entirely speak out of, I can't even talk about this yet because it's not how, I've just had like the greatest experience and I can't talk about it yet because it's not like a solid, who knows whether the businessmen are going to work out their business deals and get me on this movie, but I think I may play like one of the most iconic parts that I am acquainted with, that I love so much. It's like in one of my favorite books. I think I may have gotten that part, and that was like the first time. I've gotten a lot of parts in my life, but I'm never like, oh, I got a job, I just booked it. I'm always like, okay, they shouldn't have hired me. And on this one, I was literally like creeping up Laurel Canyon, getting back into the valley, and it just didn't fit. Like I was busting out of this little car. Like the energy, it did not like control. It was like the most elated moment of my life. I went to the meeting and he was just like, okay, we're going to do this together. And I was like, I just flipped. Probably that. Making that movie will be the coolest thing. Have you had any more dreams about Edward and Bella? If so, what happened?
I had one. After I was working on New Moon, I had this weird, I was like sleeping in the guest room because my husband had a horrible cold, and so I wasn't like in my normal surroundings, and I had this dream that I don't know how much it was a dream and how much I thought about it afterwards because I was kind of out of it, but that Edward actually showed up and told me I got it all wrong, and like, he existed and everything, but he couldn't live off animals, and he really was, hunted like any other vampire, and I kind of got the sense he was about to kill me. It was really terrifying, and it was bizarrely different from every other time I've thought about his character. And so then that was cool in a way, too, because it added something extra to my view of him.
Oh, that's weird. Can you just make your best sexy face? Please.
That's a request, no question.
Can you? Can you do it?
I thought I was already doing it. No, I need to get, I can't saturate the market too much.
Smart, yeah.
Stephenie, what other projects are in store for you? Do you plan to write a sequel to The Host, or will you finish Midnight Sun? Just want to say right now, I didn't leak it.
I actually know that.
Oh, really? Did you actually
I do
ask
know that.
You know Did I get investigated?
Yeah.
Hey.
No, wasn't. Oh, come on! Like I'm going to say that right now. No, I mean it wasn't.
I thought it was me for a bit because I forgot where I put it on my computer.
No, because if you knew, you wouldn't be alive right now, Rob. FYI. No, I mean, this is what I've learned in the last 6 months. If you say, this is my next project, and you're just answering a question like really, honestly, what am I working on right now? All of a sudden people expect in 6 months they're going to be able to go buy this book on the shelf. And it doesn't work that way. First of all, it takes a lot longer than that. And secondly, I change my mind all the time. I'll start a book and be like, this sucks, I'm moving on, and do something else. I've got a lot of other projects, and right now I want to do something new. I don't want to do a world I've already done. I want to do something fun and different. But I'm not going to say, because it's not going to be on the shelves in 6 months. It's going to take 2 or 3 years if I can get home and actually work on something. Because I have things to do, Rob. Oh. Anyway, Kristen, Sarah in Portugal wants you to describe Robert in 2 words.
In Portuguese.
Ooh.
Why 2? Why not just 1? Or 3?
It's funny because I know very well, better than anybody else, a version of Rob. I mean, because you have a very complete experience making a movie. Like, you go through something with somebody or whatever, and then that's this separate little thing. I don't feel like I know him very well. Maybe.
He's such a great actor.
How about good actor? Good person. I think I've heard you say before that you feel like Bella's a pretty separate thing from you. What are the differences?
Bella and I think completely differently. And, when I went to write this, it wasn't something I thought about, because I was just doing it for fun. But I think it's really natural that I created a character that let me live a life I didn't know. Because why would I want to write something that I've already experienced? I brought a few things that I experienced and added them in later. But really, Bella's 100% more mature than I was at that age. I was really sheltered, and she had to be the grown-up all the time. And I kind of admired that when I would see that in people around me. That's got to be hard. What is that like? My life is really easy, and hers isn't. And then she gets to have this fantasy love affair, and she's just normal. That also did not happen to me. I dated all the Mike Newtons and the Eric Yorkies in my life, and I never did even see an Edwards. So that was all part of this fantasy that I got to live for 3 months, and that was really cool.
What were your personal experiences that you put in the book later?
There's one that I just thought would be funny because I was writing a book about vampires, and the fact that I did pass out in biology because other people were bleeding all around me. I thought it was kind of hilarious for a vampire book, so that actually happened.
What was the funniest thing that happened during filming?
When you tried to pick me up off the floor and couldn't. Made me feel like a gorilla. Rob pulled his groin that day. It was really problematic. And it's really quite funny. The outtake is really very funny.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Stephenie.
Thank you, Rob.
It's all right, no problem. Thank you to Movie Phone, and thank you for watching and sending in your questions. Please check out our movie Twilight. It's much more interesting than this interview. Yeah. So what's your next project?
Writing the Rob Pattinson story. It's a tell-all.